How to create a simple and nested JSON object using Gson Java library. Gson is a Java library that can be used to convert Java objects into a JSON object and vice versa. JSON is similar to Gson Java library. To use JSON, make sure you have added the dependency of Gson from Maven Center repository into your project. If you are using Maven, then add into your pom.xml. If you are using Gradle, then add this dependency into your build.gradle file. So first we will create simple JSON object. After that we'll create a nested JSON object. A nested JSON object is a JSON object inside another JSON object. I have already added JSON dependency in my pom.xml, and I have another class where I will create JSON object and nested JSON object. In JSON, we represent a JSON object using a JSON object class itself. So first step, we need to create an object of JSON object class. So JSON object, give the name, maybe JSON object equal to new JSON object. So the basic of JSON is, this is a JSON object, and here name is married and salary are the keys, and right side we have values for them. That means name is the key and Amod Mahajan is the value. Similarly, age is the key and 33 is the value, and we can have any kind of value. That means for the name we have string value, for the age we have integer, for is married we have a boolean, for salary we have double. So when we created an object of JSON object class, that means we have created one empty JSON object like this. Now I need to add the properties into this JSON object. For that we have methods available. That means if you do JSON object dot add property, using this method I can add the keys into my JSON object. So you can see it is overloaded, and first parameter will be property name, second will be its value. So use add property, first key will be name and value will be Amud Mahajan. Similarly, I need to add another 3 property. So this time property name is age, and I need to pass the integer value, so no need to pass double quotes. I need to pass now boolean value. So JSON object dot add property, property name will be is married, value is true. Now final value is double, so add property salary and value is 100.10. So we have created the JSON object, but I want to see this JSON object as a actual JSON representation, whatever I have shown you here. So basically this JSON object is a Java object now. I need to convert this Java object into a JSON representation. For that we need to create an object of class called Gson. So Gson equal to new Gson. Then here we have a method called toJSON. So use this method and pass the Java object name, which is JSON object, and the return type of this method is string. So let me store into a string variable like JSON object string. Now I am going to print this JSON object. So use the sysout, pass JSON object. Let me run this program and I should see my JSON representation of my Java object called JSON object. So here you can see we are getting the JSON. Here it has not printed the JSON into formatting. So for that we need to add some property into JSON object. So instead of creating the JSON object, we need to use the builder. That means we have another class called JSON builder, and here we have method set pretty printing. After that I need to call a create method. This will give you an object of type JSON, and now if I run this program, this time it will print the JSON in proper formatting, and here you can see it has printed in a proper format. So this is a normal JSON object. If you want to create a nested JSON object, that means we have another JSON object called address within the main JSON object. So let's create a basic one, and similar concept we need to follow for any nested JSON objects. Let's consider only this much. This much we can create using a simple JSON object. So let's create it first. I'll create another JSON object. That means JSON object, give the name as address. You can give any name, new JSON object. And here I am going to add the properties. That means JSON object dot add property. First will be city. Give a value to it like addition, and another property is state and give the value. So here I have created the internal JSON object. Now I need to add this JSON object into my actual JSON object. For that we need to use another method. So we cannot use the add property. If you see, basically address is a property of parent JSON object, but we cannot use the add property. Why? Because if you see the methods which are overloaded, here for the value part we don't have any type which will support my JSON object. We have only string, number, boolean, character. So for that we have another method called add, and here we have JSON element, and JSON element is the super class of JSON object. So use add and pass the key which will be address, and then pass the JSON object which is address itself. Let me run this program and I should see a nested JSON object this time. So here you can see address is empty, and obviously we had made the mistake. For the address JSON object I need to use address.add property, not the JSON object, because JSON object is the parent one. So let me correct it and rerun it. This time we can see the expected JSON object. Thank you for watching.